Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey, and welcome back to the post-show video wrap-up of The Shrimp Tank. My name is Lee Heisman. I am here with my co-host, Joey Roos, with iSchool, and our guest today. I love your name, Monte Joiner. Absolutely, with Dent Science. We learned a lot about, goodness gracious, what you should do, not only if you get a dent in your car and not going through insurance and using Monte's company, but also growing a small business and leaving an industry and opening your own business. So, Monte, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Surely, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was so cool to hear your story, Monte, and how you went from being an insurance adjuster to working with small business owners to then making the leap while you were pregnant, or your wife was pregnant with a child, to become an entrepreneur yourself. So for other potential entrepreneurs out there who are thinking of making the leap, what advice would you give them in that transition?
Well, working for someone, you're going to be having a designated amount of hours you're going to be working, and outside of those hours, those parameters, you're not going to really be focused on anything else. When you're working for yourself, you designate all those hours to yourself because that is what you're interested in. If you're going to thrive in a business, you need to throw yourself into it. And when you do that, you're not really working if you enjoy what you're doing. So I would say throw yourself into it. Practice, practice, practice with anything.
Absolutely. Well, talking about practice, you know the old adage, 10,000 hours of doing something and you're going to become an expert. So that's obviously a known fact. And we're talking about Dent Science, and it truly is an art. And when you're working as much as you have being a business owner, number one, how long does it take for you to get those 10,000 hours in? And do you feel like you have those 10,000 hours? Are you an expert?
I definitely feel like I do have the 10,000 hours in. Yeah, I feel like I am an expert, at least with paintless dent repair. As far as I've been doing this close to 12 years, so I've got a lot of cuts to show for it on my hands, and I've made a lot of mistakes through those 10,000 hours. But the trick is, if it is a trick, is you just keep going. You get up, you learn from what you did wrong, and you correct it. And that's really how I think the whole secret with the 10,000 hours is when you are throwing a curveball, you get back on top of it and you make it right and you fix it. You figure out how to fix it and you keep going.
So as you've scaled that business and put in those 10,000 hours, you've grown your company. You've gotten contractors on board who have worked with you, but you've opted for the contractor over employee route, which is becoming a more and more popular concept. Can you speak to maybe some of the benefits and the challenges of that route?
Well, yeah, if you're hiring somebody and you hire them for what you know that they can do, yeah, if they can produce good quality repairs, then I can get a repair, get a job and give that person the repair and know they're going to do a good job. I like hiring contractors for that reason, because if it's something I can't get to, or I'm overwhelmed with something else, or they say that the customer wanted it done immediately, then I know I can put somebody that I know does good work on, and it's going to be done right. And if I've trained as well. But when you're hiring somebody for your business, you got to look at insurance. You got to look at time that they're going to be with you. I've seen it so many times where you train someone and they leave after a short period of time, and it really didn't benefit you. So those are the things I like to avoid. And with what PDR is, you're the skill. You're the talent. So you're really your own company. So if you would turn around, if you do the turnaround thing where you hire somebody and then they leave you, and they're just going to take your skill and possibly the companies that you already have.
Well, it lets you focus on your expertise. It lets you scale when you use 1099 employees, and it lets you obviously address seasonal issues as well, because you don't have those people on the payroll and the books at that time. And then when you need them and you get a good book of 1099 employees, you can call on them and they're very reliable for you.
Very reliable.
So how would people get in touch with you, Monte, if they wanted to utilize the service and they had a dent in their car? And I bet most people watching today probably have a dent in their car somewhere.
Sure. You can go to the website, It's www.dentsciencega.com, or you can just call the number for call 404-805-1086. I tell people just send me a few good photos. That's all I need to give you a good solid estimate.
Monty's going to come out to your location and give you the white glove service. And you know, guys, one of the big parts that we always learn on the entrepreneurship show of the podcast here is listen to what Monty said. He goes, when he runs into an issue, he just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And you look at IQ and we look at EQ, and you're familiar with these things, how someone measures someone's IQ and they look at their EQ, but have you ever looked at their AQ? And that's what Monty said. AQ is your adversity quotient. Most entrepreneurs don't realize about an adversity quotient. How much can you tolerate and how much can you keep going forward to grow the business? And that's what Monty does, not only growing his business, but also fixing the dents and fixing the problems in your car. Monty, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
My co-host,
Appreciate
Joey
you.
Roos. My name is
Thank
Lee
you,
Heisman,
Joey.
and that was your post-show video wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond.